Well, hello there. This is Diamond from Diamond Shine Soap. I'm excited to see you today. Today we are going to do a very nice recipe, but listen, y'all, I want you to go ahead and like the channel. I want you to also subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss any of the new videos that I will be posting all this week, next week, and so on and so forth. Also, guys, if you want the entire recipe, look, all of my recipes are in my Patreon. If you go to the link in the description box, it'll take you straight to the Patreon. You will never be disappointed with my Patreon because I have recipes that work, okay? And they are very simple. You will be making candles in a month, all right? So I want to talk about what we're doing today. Today we're making this viral mop soap, y'all. And I want to give you guys the exact ingredients and everything, but I had to put this one in the Patreon because this is going to be one of those situations where when people find out that you can make this for $2 a gallon and it's just, very good, it smells good, it's a top seller, and it's very simple to make, you might not be able to get these ingredients, all right? So we're going to keep it secret, squirrel. I'm going to teach you guys how to make it. I'm going to give you a lot of tips and tricks and things like that. These are the bottles that we're going to be using. I'm using glass amber bottles because I got 100 of them because I actually am making this myself and selling it myself. It's so simple to make. It literally costs $2 a gallon to make it. I'm using sea salt and orchard because this month we are doing a sea, beach, coastal theme in the Patreon. You don't want to miss it. We got our sea coastal candles coming up next, so this is pretty awesome. We're going to be using some preservative because anytime you bring water into the equation, you're going to need a preservative. We're also going to be using some surfactants, guys. You can just kind of pick and choose what surfactants you want to use, but our surfactants that we have definitely mix the fragrance in without a problem. You get a nice color base. The base is not like super cloudy. Once you let it sit overnight, it's perfect. So I can't even ask for a better recipe. Shout out to one of my good friends, Jess. You know who you are. She helped me with this recipe, helped me develop it, and I cannot thank her enough. All right. Okay, so there are so many surfactants out there that you can use to make mop soap, but there's actually like one surfactant that works perfect, okay? And right here I have 2 surfactants or whatever. I'm just showing you you do have a choice. So if you can't get one of them, you can get the other. Now, with this whole recipe being written out, I want to let you know that the surfactant is very mild. It creates a lather. It helps break down and lift dirt, grease, and grime. And also, it improves wetting and spreading on floors, so you don't have to worry about it like, you know how you use like water on a hardwood floor and you just get like different spots in different areas. No, it goes on smoothly and it also leaves a natural shine. The next thing I want to tell you that we are going to be using is water. Now, water is pretty much the whole entire recipe. Seriously, it is. The whole recipe is water. That's why it's so cheap to make, okay? The next thing we're going to be using in this recipe is white vinegar. White vinegar is a natural degreaser, and it's also a descaler. It breaks down mineral deposits and soap scum. It's mildly acidic, so it helps balance the pH and it cuts through the alkaline and dirt. It also adds germ-killing benefit, okay? Not too much, so we couldn't call this a disinfectant because, of course, you would need for it to kill E. coli and, other viruses. So it's nothing like that, but vinegar does get rid of a little, not much. All right. So with that being said, y'all, we're going to be using some fragrance in this, and I showed you guys the fragrance that I'm going to be using. I love this fragrance, sea salt and orchard. The reason why I like this fragrance is because it honestly really does smell like sea salt. It just gives like a nice beach smell. If you guys spend a lot of time on the beach, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to be using a preservative as well, and I think I showed you guys the preservative that I'm using. And the preservative is really to keep the bacteria, the mold, the yeast out in any water-based formula, okay? So this formula is very light. And it's low foaming, so you don't have to worry about, it having suds on the floor. The vinegar actually helps rinse and clean without any kind of residue, and it gives you a nice streak-free floor, okay? You're gonna put all of your ingredients into this container, guys. I mean, your fragrance, your surfactants, your water, your vinegar. You're gonna go ahead and put everything in here. At first, when you add your fragrance, it's going to look like everything is floating to the top, but the moment you stir it in, it is going to bind right away without a problem. And that's what I love about this recipe. Now, if you have any kind of separation, because I do realize that some fragrances are a little bit thicker than others, and that is a fact. If you have that issue, just go ahead and use a little bit of Polysorbate 80 or Polysorbate 20, whatever one you have on hand. I recommend Polysorbate 20, and you just add a little bit until it fully combines. So that means you just use 0.1, just keep it just to a couple drops until it fully combines, so you don't overdo it, okay? Because you don't want to add too much poly, because it will definitely cloud up your recipe and make it super milky, okay? So you just stir it all in, guys, and then this is my favorite part. Now I want to tell you guys something. If you want to turn this into an all-purpose cleaner, you definitely can, because I have been using it as both. All you have to do is add a little bit of cocoa butane to it, okay? Just add a little bit of cocoa butane, and it will give it more of a sudsing power, and that's what you're going to need for an all-purpose cleaner. And that is it, guys. You have a all-purpose cleaner. I use it as both. I'm telling you, it's awesome, okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pour this into our containers. Now, I went with the amber containers because I felt like, some fragrances, this recipe is not completely clear. So because of that, I wanted it to be amber. Now, I did make some all-purpose cleaner, and I put it on my Patreon. So if you guys go on Patreon, you look up all-purpose cleaner, it is completely clear. I use it in a clear container. Actually, I use that clear spray bottle that I just showed you guys. It cleans fantastic. It cleans the tub, leaving it, I'm talking about the sink, everything. I use it for just about everything, okay? And it's a very simple recipe, and it really don't cost too much to make. So that is it, guys. I'm just pouring into this container, and then we are pretty much done. If you have not joined the Patreon, now is your time to do so. Go ahead and click the link in the description box and go to the Patreon. You will find this whole thing in a PDF format, or it will just simply be written out for you with the tutorial. Guys, we are finished. These things smell so good. That's what I like about that mop soap, because you can use luxury fragrances, and that's why it sells so much, because people on TikTok, they like stuff like that. Carpet Fresh, they just like those smells, those scents, okay? So here it is with the tops on it. I definitely love these bottles. I ended up going with like a 4x3 label. You could do 4x3 or 4x4. These are 16-ounce amber bottles, and this is the finished product, and I will see you guys again soon.